Okay, here we go. The Marlins and Johnny Cueto have agreed to a deal. Johnny Cueto was pretty solid last year. If we go take a look at his numbers, 25 games, 24 starts overall for the White Sox. He had a 3.35 ERA, a 3.79 FIP, a 2.4 Fangraph WAR. That is not too shabby if you ask me. But Johnny Cueto, a couple of years ago, he really struggled with the San Francisco Giants, had an ERA of 5.40. The year before, it was 5.06. FIP was a 5.71. So Johnny Cueto really had to go back to the lab and kind of switch some stuff around. So if we go take a look here, the amount of pitches that he throws is just ridiculous. He throws a sinker, a changeup, a cutter, a four-seamer, a slider, a curveball. This guy's just wackadoodle. He's been that way forever. But if we go take a look here at the amount of pitches that he was throwing, take a look at the cutter here. Last year, he threw it 467 times compared to just 29 times in 2021. And look at the sinker, 291, 291 times in 2021 and 562 times in 2022. Basically, Johnny Cueto had to get away from trying to get strikeouts to more pitching to contact. Look at the strikeouts per nine, 7.96 in 2020, 7.69 in 2021, and then 5.80 last year. Take a look at the ground balls, went up from 38.1% to 42.6%. So Johnny Cueto really focused on pitching more to contact last year, and that really helped him a lot, and he was able to have himself a really successful season. So for the Marlins, as we all know with the Marlins, they have a ton of pitching. So why are they adding Johnny Cueto? Well, I think the answer is very clear here. There is some kind of a trade that's incoming. And even if they don't end up with a trade, I mean, my goodness, the amount of pitching depth that they would have, that is just ridiculous. But I think a trade is going to be on the way. Sandy Alcantara, he's not going anywhere, but you got Pablo Lopez, Jesus Luzardo, Edward Cabrera, Trevor Rogers, and there's been reports out there saying they're willing to deal either of those guys. Me personally, if I'm an opposing team, I would want Pablo Lopez. I guess it depends on what team, but Pablo Lopez, at least for a contender, I would want him because he's the more proven guy. He can bring, he's going to bring that stability to the rotation. Now, if I'm a younger team that's maybe on the rise, maybe someone like Edward Cabrera, I think would be great. This guy's got nasty stuff. Trevor Rogers, he's a couple of years ago was pretty good, but last year struggled. Jesus Luzardo's really got his career back on track. So if I'm a contender, I would want Pablo Lopez. I would have him for a couple of years at least, unless I can sign him to an extension. But a team that's more on the rise, I would want one of these younger guys. Now, for teams like Pablo Lopez, I mean, there are just so many. My Red Sox have been involved with talks with the Marlins. I would think the Red Sox would be fantastic for Pablo Lopez. The Minnesota Twins, they've been in the news for Carlos Correa, but I feel like they could use another guy near the top of that rotation. Even a team like the Detroit Tigers, I could see them maybe adding Pablo Lopez, or maybe one of the younger guys as well. They do have some prospects to possibly get a deal done. The Rangers have been adding pitching left and right. Could they add another pitcher as well? The St. Louis Cardinals, I definitely think the St. Louis Cardinals could add someone. I think they need someone more at the top of that rotation. I think Pablo Lopez would be really good for them for the next couple of years. The Padres, they're in complete win now mode. I mean, could they add someone like Pablo Lopez and have a very deep rotation? We got the Dodgers also in the NL West. I feel like, now that Trevor Bauer is definitely not coming back, I feel like you could use a little something. Maybe Dustin May could be more of a swing man. I would love to see Dustin May a full season in the rotation, but I think Pablo would be fantastic for them. The Diamondbacks, I personally think the Diamondbacks are perfect for Pablo Lopez. You have Zach Gallen at the top. Pablo can be your number 2, and then Merrill Kelly your number 3. And then you can have Madison Bumgarner and Zach Davies at the back end. So to me, I like the signing for the Marlins, but for me personally, I think this signals more of a trade. I think it has to be happening sooner or later. And could it be happening much sooner rather than later, simply just because they have made this signing now? Maybe they already have a trade lined up, possibly. We'll have to just wait and see. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about the Marlins signing Johnny Cueto? Do you think this actually helps them be more of a contender in that division? What do you think about for an upcoming trade. I mean, do you think there's going to be a trade that happens? If so, who do you think ends up getting traded? But that is all I have for right now, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.